Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Iga Świątek, heartbroken after the loss of her beloved pet. The tennis world caught a glimpse of Iga Świątek's life off the court this week, as the Polish superstar shared some deeply personal and sad news. In a heartfelt post, she announced the loss of a cherished family member who had been with her for nearly 2 decades. What heartbreaking news did Iga Świątek share with her fans? On Thursday, August 8th, Świątek took to Instagram to announce the passing of her beloved cat, Grappa. She shared a simple yet touching message with her followers, capturing the depth of her loss. The tribute featured several photos and videos showcasing the deep connection she shared with Grappa. Images from her childhood revealed just how long the cat had been a part of her life. Given that Grappa lived for 17 years, the bond was clearly a strong one, a sentiment echoed by fans who commented on the difficulty of losing a longtime pet. Adding to the sadness of the moment, the announcement came on August 8th, which is International Cat Day. Tennis fans across the globe quickly flooded her social media with messages of support during this difficult time. Despite this personal setback, the 2025 season has been a landmark year for Iga Świątek on the tennis court. In July, she achieved a career milestone by winning her first Wimbledon title, defeating Amanda Anisimova 6-0, 6-0 in a dominant final. The victory made her the first Polish player in history to win at Wimbledon. Her win at the All England Club was particularly significant because she had historically found grass courts to be a challenge. Before this year, she had never won a grass court tournament. This triumph also broke a dry spell, as she had not won a tournament in over a year. However, her recent form has been more inconsistent. At the Canadian Open in Montreal, she suffered a surprising 7-6, 6-3 loss to Clara Tauson. The defeat snapped a 9-match winning streak. Currently, the Pole season record stands at 44 wins and 12 losses, with her Wimbledon victory being her sole title this year. As of now, she is ranked world number 3 and is scheduled to face Anastasia Potapova at the 2025 Cincinnati Open, a crucial tournament for players preparing for the U.S. Open just a week later. Iga Świątek, a champion's grief. The morning sun filtered through the tall windows of Iga Świątek's Warsaw apartment, casting a golden hue on the trophies that lined her shelf. Roland Garros, Indian Wells, Stuttgart. Symbols of victory, of discipline, of brilliance. And yet, on this August morning, none of them mattered. On the corner of the sofa, untouched since the day before, lay a soft blanket and a plush fox toy. It still carried the scent of fur and the warmth of countless snuggles. That was her spot, Grappa's spot. Grappa, the cream-colored terrier mix with soulful eyes and boundless energy, had been with Iga since 2020. The dog had come into her life during the chaos of the pandemic, a time when tennis tours halted, fans disappeared from the stands, and athletes were left to question the meaning of their craft. For Iga, Grappa had been the answer, but now she was gone. It was sudden. One moment she was barking at the delivery man with that tiny growl that never scared anyone, and the next she was lying still, breath shallow, her heartbeat fading fast. The vet said it was an undiagnosed heart defect. Nothing could have predicted it. Nothing could have stopped it. Iga hadn't cried on court when she lost the Australian Open final. She hadn't wept when she was eliminated in the 3rd round of Wimbledon 2 years ago. But now, curled up on that same couch where Grappa once waited for her after training, she let go. Not the tears of a champion, but of a girl who had just lost her best friend. The tennis world heard the news 2 days later through an Instagram post, just a single photo. Iga holding Grappa in her arms, her face turned away from the camera, lips pressed to the top of the dog's head. The caption was short. "You are my calm in every storm. I'll love you forever, Grappa. Thank you for choosing me." The response was overwhelming. Thousands of comments poured in. Fellow athletes, fans, journalists, and even rivals offered condolences. Naomi Osaka commented, "Sending love, Iga. Pets are family." Carlos Alcaraz wrote, "She was lucky to have you." But even amidst the support, grief doesn't move on a schedule, especially not when you're expected to return to center court within the week. Her coach, Tomasz Wiktorowski, gave her space. He'd known Grappa too. He knew how she'd lie just off court during practice, how she'd curl up beside IGA on flights, and how she could sense the nerves before every final. At their next training session, IGA showed up late, wearing Grappa's old collar looped around her wrist like a bracelet. She didn't explain it, and no one asked. Every serve was a little slower, every backhand a little less crisp. "Take your time," Tomasz said gently. "We're not in a rush." But time was not on her side. The U.S. Open was approaching. The world would watch. That night, IGA sat alone in her kitchen, eating cereal for dinner. The silence was unbearable. Grappa had always been there, tail wagging, head tilted at the sound of a crunch, hopeful for a dropped piece. Instinctively, she reached down to her side with a piece of toast, forgetting, for just a moment, that no one would be there to take it. Her hand hung in the air. Then slowly, it fell to her lap. She thought of skipping the tournament. She had enough points. No one would blame her. But a memory surfaced. She had been sitting in the locker room after a grueling 3-set match in Madrid, her legs cramping, tears of exhaustion in her eyes. That day, she had felt broken, until she heard the tiny yip outside the door. Grappa had slipped under the arm of a security guard and found her. She had jumped into IGA's lap, licking her salty cheeks. "You're stronger than this," IGA whispered aloud, as if Grappa were still there. And maybe, in a way, she was. In New York, the buzz of the U.S. Open was louder than ever. Fans waved Polish flags, wearing red and white, chanting her name. But when IGA stepped onto Arthur Ashe Stadium, there was a quiet in her gaze, a maturity beyond the years of a 24-year-old. The first round was tough. Her opponent pushed her to a tiebreak in the first set. IGA served. The ball landed clean. She didn't pump her fist. She looked to the stands, not for her coach, not for her family, but for the ghost of a dog who had once waited outside every match. There was a brief shimmer in her eye. Then she nodded once to herself. She wasn't just playing for Poland anymore. She was playing for Grappa. The tournament became a kind of therapy. Each match was a step forward in grief, a battle not just of forehands and footwork, but of heartache and healing. She made it to the semifinals. And then, under the bright New York lights, in the final, facing a resurgent Bianca Andreescu, IGA let herself go. Not just physically, but emotionally. She played with freedom, with the kind of love for the game she hadn't felt in months. When the final point ended, and the crowd erupted, she didn't fall to her knees. She didn't leap into her team's arms. Instead, she looked up into the night sky and placed a hand gently on her chest. "For you," she mouthed. Back in Warsaw, a bronze plaque was placed in the garden of her home, in loving memory of Grappa, 2019 to 2025, the quietest cheerleader, the fiercest protector, the truest friend. Next to it, IGA planted a small cherry blossom tree, the same type of tree she had seen blooming in Tokyo when she won her Olympic medal. She said it reminded her of fragility, of beauty, and of how short life can be. "I don't need another trophy to feel like I've won something," she told a reporter in a post-tournament interview. "Grappa gave me something tennis never could. She taught me presence. She made me human again." The world often sees athletes as machines, geared for discipline, performance, and constant improvement. But behind every trophy is a story. Behind every serve, a soul. And in Iga Świątek's case, behind every championship run, was a little dog with a wagging tail, waiting just off court to remind her, win or lose, she was always loved. Even champions cry. Even champions grieve. But through that grief, they often find the deepest strength. And sometimes, the truest victories happen far from the scoreboard.